What's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mosen here with MTA 66 for the 24th of April 2019, bringing you your daily WoW Classic discussion and rants and news and updates. And today we want to talk about, first of all, we're going to jump into the forum watch. Okay, so I'm going to start this off with a thread coming in from Dagger. And Dagger says, or asks, I thought this was a particularly interesting thread where everybody can maybe, state their opinion on what will confuse people in Classic, he asks. And he says, hi all, just thought it would be entertaining to compile a thread of things that people will get wrong when they start playing Classic compared to the current game. Especially players who were Wrath babies or started playing later. And he says he's a Wrath baby himself, right? And so he says a couple of his examples. People not realizing they can unequip certain, can't equip certain weapons because they need to be trained in it. That's probably one of the bigger ones. Where people, for example, rogues think they can wield axes. Can you imagine the tears when rogues come in to Classic and they just run dungeons and then axe drops and they're just, yeah, I'll need this. And Fury War is going mad. This is gonna be awesome. Hunters getting confused over whether they need agility or intellect. Well, intellect, of course, right? Spell power hunter is a thing, am I not right? Hunters forgetting to feed their pets. This will happen for sure. And pets will run off. People not waiting for long enough between mob pulls and dying because they try to complete quests too quickly. For sure, but that's probably a minor thing because you should learn quickly, otherwise you'll probably just go back to BFA. Obviously the transition for people who don't know Classic will be huge for BFA, agreed. And now look, there's a couple of really cool answers, but before we get into them, I want you to post in the comments below what you think are going to be the biggest confusing things for people in Classic. What will confuse people the most coming from somewhere? There's a couple of good ones. Dead Zone for Hunters, for example. I like that one. Then we had a really cool one coming in. And it said, well, first of all, Blue replied as well. Community manager replied, Arithlea, when the Warlocks forgets to farm some shards before the run, that's probably one of the most classic ones. Can I get an SS or, can I get a soul stone on the healer? I was like, yeah, but it won't let me do it. I need a soul shard. Where do I get it? And then everybody just face palms. Then comes a salty guy, Demigard.
The lack of content and why people have been asking for this.
But he can run LFR dungeons if he likes, and yeah, it's awesome. He can just keep running LFR and doesn't have to go on anybody's nerves. It's amazing. Is it not? I had a couple of more really cool ones. Eating, drinking after... Okay, this comes in from... Who was this? Yeah, Recollector. Eating, drinking after a couple pulls during leveling. Obviously, this is just not a thing while leveling, really. Using consumables during leveling. Yeah, you can, but who really does that? I mean, except for like sharpening stones or potions if you're alchemist. Dying a lot. Corpse running most of the time. Spending 40 levels walking. Oh, that's gonna upset a lot of people.
Give us a mount at 20, guys.
Communicating with other players almost all of the time. Realizing crafting professions matter a lot and they are expensive to skill up. That is probably, yeah, professions and skilling them up, which will take... If I just think about engineering the last couple of levels or blacksmithing, the last couple of points, atrocious. Enchanting as well. Being a dick will have consequences. I would agree. Awesome. I had a couple more. We got time, right? You've been waiting 3 days for the next MTA, so if you've been waiting. So. Paladin gameplay in general will confuse people. I like this one. This is my my favorite, coming from a Death Knight named Gale Flower. But it's true. It's true. This will definitely confuse people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, when they play a Paladin, they won't know what they are. They'll have like a, like a crisis, not knowing what they are. And then here comes the dungeon question, right? So BRD, LBRS are definitely some of the dungeons that a lot of people agree on are going to be just mazes and just people getting lost in them and just saying, hey, all right, fuck it, I have to hearth out and leave this group, right? The hearth of shame is going to happen a lot. And I think a lot of people will just not understand why these dungeons are so big and where they need to go. But I'm very sure that also new players, right, that haven't played Classic will enjoy this to a certain degree, and they will probably enjoy, hey, this is awesome, like this dungeon is fat, you know, like Dwarf Rogue's mum, and basically have a lot of fun in there, doing a lot of quests in dungeons. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know, thinking it's safe to take a shortcut through a lake of murlocs. Certainly the worst idea ever. Yeah, let me know what you think, and we can certainly look into that a little bit more. So in the next section, I want to talk about money savers again today, and yeah, I thought I'd give you like a very basic tip. I don't think I've ever talked about this in an MTA, so we'll just go ahead and do it. I mean, why the hell not? Especially for new players, right? We've been bashing the new players now, and now we want to give them some tips, okay? So you're welcome here, don't worry about it. We're not gonna bitch about you. So in today's money saver section, I want to take a quick look at protection potions. Protection potions are a big thing in vanilla, and there's a couple of, basically for every school of magic there's a protection potion. For example, the shadow protection potion, nature, fire, etc. Frost. So there's big and small ones, right? And usually you're really required to bring the protection potions by your raid leaders to the raid, and because they really do help soak up a lot of the raid mechanics in Classic. And I want to give you the tip that usually the small protection potions, especially when it comes to you know, nature protection potions, are the better choice to go with. There's a couple of things. When the server is new, right? When the server is new, you will encounter that greater fire protection potions are really expensive because they require an elemental fire. And I'm just gonna do it in real time here with you guys. Right now they're pretty cheap, like 74 silvers, but that's because AQ40 has been out for a while, and usually they go for, I mean, up to 3-4 gold actually. Of course it depends on the economy of your server, but they're quite usually quite expensive. That's what I wanted to say. Before AQ40 is out, because you need them black when there, and you basically spam them in Molten Core as well. So you know, instead of going with these, you need one of these and the dream foil. So let's pretend they are 3 gold, right? Because that's the usual price. Dream foil is about like half a gold per, right? And maybe a little bit cheaper. Let's just at an earlier stage of the game, let's just pretend they are like something around 40 silver, and the elemental fire 3 gold. So you're looking at something like 3 to 4 gold per greater fire protection potion. They can even go to 5 gold. So it's quite expensive. If you're looking at the small flame sack, right now, these have become more expensive, and greater fire protection potion is probably one of the things where this doesn't really work that much. But you could get one of these, and that's basically your expenses for the small protection potion, and you save a lot of money that way already. So you're looking at around like one gold compared to, you know, almost 4 gold for a greater protection potion. That's already way better, right? You're saving a lot of money, and the point is that you know, if you're looking at the fire protection potion, it already absorbs like 1,600 fire damage. Okay, so it depends a little bit, but let's go into in the middle of it. So somewhere around like 1,300 fire damage is absorbed. Of course, the greater fire protection potion is much better. But if you're looking at it, 1 gold for 1,300 damage absorbed, and you know, I don't know, it depends. 4 gold for, of course, double the amount, but it still gives you a little bit of protection. And the point of this is, now Onyxia is probably one of the better examples where you really should pop a greater fire protection potions, because it will actually, a greater one will actually save you from the deep breath, and otherwise you'll die. But in all other MC encounters, for example, this little barrier will already give you a good protection so that your healers can react in a normal rate, right? In a rate where people actually have a brain. So that one is one of my tips, that you can get the smaller ones for way cheaper than the bigger ones, and sometimes it's actually worth. And one of the best examples for this, Greater Fire Protection Potion is usually recommended. If you really can't afford it, don't burn your gold on the greater ones, get the smaller ones, right? People will see, okay, he actually brought something and he cares, but you're not burning your gold on stupid stuff, basically. The small ones are also really good for when you're still trying bosses, right? When you're still trying to get the tactics down, and you don't want to burn gold on tries where you know you're likely not going to kill the boss. So a better example though is the Greater Nature Protection Potion, right? And the Greater Nature Protection Potion requires you to bring an Elemental Earth, and these potions will be needed when AQ40 is out, and so that really makes a big difference. And Elemental Earth will go up in price as well, and so you know that now already. One Elemental Earth goes for 4 gold 30 at the moment, and you need a Dreamfall. So Dreamfall is about like 40 silver if you buy it for a good price. So you could kind of say like, you know, something like 4 gold 75 is one Greater Nature Protection Potion. But the thing is that these can go up easily to 5 gold, right? The Elemental Earth. And if you look at the alternative, that would be the the small one, the normal Nature Protection Potion. You're looking at the Life Root and the Strangle Kelp. So we're gonna type in Life Root, and the Life Root has 19 silvers as a price, and the Strangle Kelp 10 silvers per. So you're looking at 29 silver versus 4 gold 80 for a protection potion. And the thing is also that these small ones already go up to 2250 nature damage absorbed, while the greater one only goes up to 3200. So the difference is only 1000, or, you know, a difference of 4 gold, 40 silvers. So I would definitely recommend the small one. For a frost protection potion, I think it's the same deal, right? If you're still trying stuff, or you just want to save a little bit of money, it's usually fine to bring the smaller ones, unless your raid lead really requires you to bring the bigger ones. In that case, well, you know, tough luck. You just gotta go and go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's my money saving tip for you for the day, and let's jump right into the BIS. And in today's BIS, we feature the Arcanid Dragonling. Now, this has been a thing that is probably no news to a lot of very tryhard guilds, or guilds that have been progressing, or, you know, basically min-maxing and pulling everything out, speed running. So for you guys, you probably know this tiny little Dragonling, and you probably also know its massive power that is involved. The Arcanid Dragonling is created by engineers, and the recipe drops from the blue dragon casters in Winterspring that guard the cave. It's a rather low drop rate, so if you want to go and farm that, go ahead. But you can usually also buy the recipe from the auction house, because somebody has put it on there for around like 50 gold, or, you know, it depends on your server. Maybe you get lucky, go ahead and try. Otherwise, you can farm this with a guild. And rumors say if, you know, the Arcanid Dragonling's level, when once crafted, it's a trinket which then summons an Arcanid Dragonling. So the Arcanid Dragonling summoned will have a higher level if a gnome build it, because the gnomes have a higher engineering skill, which is then divided by 5, which then determines the level of the Drake. So a gnome's engineering at here will have a level of 63, thus having less resists against raid bosses, because they also count as a level 63 Dragonling. And in that case, what the cool thing about this dragon is that it attacks, and it has, as this comment here says, about 70 damage, 2 level 60 mobs and a 2.0 attack speed, but that is not all. The cool thing is it breathes fire and applies a flame buffered debuff on the target, which can stack up to 5 times per Dragonling. Now, rumors say, and I don't know if this is true, we're still testing this out. If anybody knows, anybody has been speedrunning, let me know in the comments. If multiple people have this, it can go beyond the 5 debuff stacks. But it could also be that we have, you know, the speedrunners have more of these to stack to 5 quicker, because it actually dies pretty quickly. So maybe the point is to have like 10 of these in a raid situation to stack up the 5, which would then increase the fire damage taken on the target by 300, which is of course massive, especially when you're looking at AQ40 when most mages go fire in raids, and that is basically a huge buff. So what you need for this first is a mechanical mithril dragonling, right? And you need to be engineer 300, of course. And for the mithril mechanical dragonling, if you're still scaling up the engineering, I recommend that you build one of these already, put it on your bank, because this one's quite expensive, but you can already build it and then gather the rest of the mats, and you can of course reuse this, pop it before a fight and switch in a better trinket, and then you can go. I think that's how it works. Maybe this will be changed later on, but I think it's how it works. You can summon it, have it there, and then switch in another trinket again. As I just said, the mats are quite expensive. You need 8 delicate arcanite converters, which require you to bring in arcanite bar as well. You can barely see it here on this side. Then 6 enchanted leather, 4 gold power cores, 6 thorium widgets, and 10 enchanted thorium bars. So that is today's BIS, and if you want to take a look at the recipe again, I will show you that. In this case, it's a 0.78% drop chance from the Cobalt Mage Weavers in maybe Winter Spring. Yeah, guarding the cave. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been MTA 66. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you very pleasant drops in the world of Azeroth. A very good day, and I'll see you next time.